Mr. Eno, for this great opportunity and platform to share my story. My name is Ogunsola. I'm from Erimo-Ijesha, Osun State, Nigeria. I was born and raised in Ibadan, Oyo State, and I moved to Akure, Federal University of Technology, Akure, for my undergraduate program in biochemistry, which I graduated 2018. And after which I came to Canada in 2020 for my graduate program. So I started as a master's student at the Department of Physiology and Pathophysiology, University of Manitoba. And in 2021, early 2022, I transferred to a PhD program, still in physiology and pathophysiology. So what I study is how changes in splicing mechanisms in the cell cause human genetic disease, and also to better understand the mechanism and see how we can diagnose genetic disease and develop treatment for them. So that's what I do, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. That is a bit. I'm a trained engineer. I practice engineering, so I may not fully understand where you are, but I know that there will be one or two people, a lot of people that I'll be watching this broadcast that would really understand. I really understand that. Okay, so now I am a very strong advocate of good grades, of good results, of success.
Yeah.
So what does success means to you?
Okay. Yeah. I believe we are all in this world for a purpose, which is a purpose set by God. So what I believe success means to me is to continually be in God's will and ensure that anywhere I get to in life, I am relevant. So I try as much as possible to be the best anywhere I get to, putting in hard work and also being smart. So what I believe success is being at the center of God's will for your life and ensuring that anywhere you get to, you stand relevant. And the definition of success is different for many people. And in addition to that, I also believe what success means to me is seeing other people around me succeed. And to achieve this, I've even come up with several initiatives. For instance, I currently have an initiative for young leaders known as Impact Leaders Connect, because some years ago, I founded an organization in Nigeria that work on advocating or creating awareness on substance abuse advocacy. So through that organization, I get to know more about leadership. And from there, I noticed that many young people like me needs to learn more about leadership. And that's what led me to found another organization known as Impact Leaders Connect. So another thing that success means to me is seeing others succeed. So as I said, anywhere I get to, I try to be relevant. I ensure I put in the hard work and being smart. And then I have to be at the center of God's will for my life. Because what is success when you are not succeeding where God wants you to be? And then the third thing is ensuring that other people around me are also succeeding. Because when we lift others, we too will get to rise. So that's my own definition. That's what success means to me. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, some of the things I can pick from your definition of success is relevance, it's impact, and it's in being in God's will.
God's will.
Those are like a tripod stand upon which you believe success stands. I mean, that is fantastic. I mean, because one of the things that I've seen over the years is that so many people, they try to hoard success, hoard information. So they want to be the only one that is shining, and then every other person is not doing well. So I think I like your idea of success in that not only are you striving to be the best, but also to impact other people to also strive to be the best. Fantastic. So how has it been combining your other initiatives here in Canada with your doctoral program? Can you walk us through how you have been able to combine all of this together? I know it's being a doctoral student is a lot of work in itself, and then having an initiative that is going to be impacting other people. It's also going to take some of your time. So how have you been able to manage your time such that all of these things that you are doing are all together successful?
Oh yeah, it's a very challenging. I would say it's very challenging, and it takes a lot of sacrifice and discipline. being a PhD student alone is a lot of work, and getting to combine this with many outside engagements is it's not an easy thing. So what I try to do is I set goals. So for my academics, I have a list of things I need to achieve, which I ensure I push myself to achieve. I discipline myself to do that. And then for my other initiatives, I'm not the only one running them. So I have a team. So I currently run 3 different initiatives and many other things. So what I do is I set a team for each of these initiatives in which they report to me. So all I do is just listen and share ideas, and then the people run with it. So my goal here is just to create a platform where other young people like me can run on. So it's not as if I'm dropping my PhD and then pushing the whole organization, but I look for people that can help me run them. So another thing to also look at is God's grace. Not everyone has the ability to combine all these things. So for some people, God has graced them to be able to get some things done very fast. So as I said, it's very challenging and it takes a lot of sacrifice. There are many things I don't do that probably other students do. So for instance, maybe engaging, maybe going to parties and all these things. So I had to sacrifice those parts and then put in more of those time into impacting my generation. So it's all about defining your priorities to what do you want to get, because we've seen a lot of people come into the PhD program too, and they just stay in the lab all through the maybe 5-6 years and not really do anything outside of their PhD. And by the time they graduate, it's very challenging, even, getting into the world and into the world system, maybe getting into business, into industry, because they've not learned how to, relate with people. So it's always good to, explore too. Even though as you're doing your PhD, you can look at that, maybe volunteering, joining an organization. So that will give you a different worldview and even the platform to apply some of the things you're learning in the PhD program. So I just try as much as possible to sacrifice some things to get this done. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Now, what I get from what you have just said right now is that, yeah, you are not just the only one running this idea.
Yes.
You are like replicating yourself on this different initiative and allowing people to take responsibilities.
Exactly. That's what
that is important, because what is common around is that you see a leader that want to hold on to power, that want to be the one that is in charge while he or she dominates every other person. But I think there's a shift in the way you are explaining your own leadership style. Your leadership style is such that, yeah, you have the idea, you have the initiative, you have the goal, and then you look for people of like minds that you can replicate yourself and let them run
with the goal. Exactly.
Oh, wow, that is fantastic. Now, I read from your profile that you had a first class from Federal University of Technology in Nigeria. As somebody that had first class too from Obafemi Awolowo University, I know how tough it might be for you to go to school in Nigeria and have a first class. How was it for you to go to FUTA and have a first class? That is one. Two, what are the things that helped you in Nigeria that you have actually also implemented here or implementing here to make you to stand out here in Canada?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And for the first one, I would say it's not easy at all. It was right from because I did pre-degree in FUTA, and interestingly, I was not given the program I wanted. So I wanted biochemistry then, but I was given an agricultural program because I scored low in my pre-degree entrance exam. So when I got into the program, I made a decision that first, I'm going to get into biochemistry, and second, I want to push myself to be one of the best students. So when I got in, God helped me. I was able to get into biochemistry. And after that, I made a decision that I'm going to push myself. So that also came with a lot of sacrifice. It was not easy at all. Most times, we go to school late in the night, read overnight almost every day, just to meet up with assignments, meet up with class notes, meet up with lectures and more. And one thing that also helped is the kind of people I worked with. So while I was in school, I had a group of friends, we were 6, And out of the six of us, four of us were best students in our department. So, and we're all roommates. So we all go out together to read at night. So that kind of environment inspired all of us to push harder. So getting to work with the right set of people also helps a lot, especially in Nigeria, because it's not easy being a lone ranger. So that's it. So in Nigeria, you just have to be disciplined. You just have to read more. And then you have to take your eyes away from all the limitations. Oh, there is no electricity, or I don't have time to charge my laptop. All those things are challenges every student face. So what we did then was to just take our eyes away from that and look for ways to get things done. And also believing that the only part you can use to rise in the country's education. There is, if you look at it, there is nothing else because the government is not really supportive at this time. So as a young person, you have to push yourself to the extent that you know that, okay, I'm the best in anywhere I get to. So through that platform now, as I said, many of my friends now, it's either we're in US or in Canada doing our PhD program now. So what we did was to push ourselves and believe that the only way we can rise to greatness is through education. And that's what we did. So on the second question, maybe you can
Yeah,
rephrase
the
that.
second question was like, what are those things that you were able to transport or import,
Okay,
implement
good.
that you have implemented or implementing in Canada
In
that has
Canada,
allowed you also to be successful here in Canada?
yeah, I would say one thing is resilience. So when we're in Nigeria, then as I said, it was really challenging studying. So imagine, as I said, no electricity, nothing. And then you now come to a country like Canada, there is electricity, there's internet, there's everything you're lacking. So that definitely gives you an edge that wow. So I what I achieve in Nigeria I should be able to achieve even more because I have everything I did not get there. So I think that's one of it. And another thing is while I was in school in Nigeria, I was engaged in multiple things too. While I was in my school, my department, I was very active in my fellowship. I was a drama unit. I had drama. And besides that, I was also involved in organizing several programs in the school, leadership programs, business programs. So having, learning how to balance all these things together is a skill I also bring here. So right now, I'm the graduate representative for my division in school here. I run my initiatives and I engage in many other leadership things. So being able to balance all these things was something I learned from my undergraduate program, and then I was able to ship it in to my postgraduate program. So another thing is working under pressure. Because right from our undergraduate program, they give us assignment to submit in a day or two, and we have to look for the answer. Even though then we might not have access to Google like we have access now, or ChatGPT. There was nothing like that. So we go to library, we search books until we find answers to assignment. So here now, the same system too. If I have maybe a presentation coming up tomorrow, I'm not pressurized like that because I know I will get it done. It's something I've done before when I was in Nigeria. So, and also the thing, being excellent in anything you do, right? If you look at Nigerian system, what makes you better than the other person is just a little extra. So you've been going that extra mile. If they give you an assignment, adding some diagrams to it, making it more presentable. Those are the things that give you good grades and make you better than your peers. So these are also things I apply. Yes, if I want to make my slides, I go the extra mile to design them better. If I want to submit my assignments, I go the extra mile to do them better because that's what will give me extra mark over the other people or to even make me do well. So these are the ideologies we bring right from our undergraduate program right to the graduate program here.
Wow, fantastic. Now, yeah, I think you are saying something that it is not common. What do I mean by that is that personally, I think I align with what you said that the principles that allowed you to succeed in Nigeria have actually not changed coming to Canada. The only thing that has changed from what I've said is that probably the mode of application, probably the way you apply them. Like, for example, in Nigeria, we know that we don't usually have power, and everybody strives to still make sure that you do well.
Exactly.
But coming into Canada where you have power 24/7, well, your approach, like we said, is not going to be being under pressure because you know, okay, everything is set, everything is available. All I need to do is just to harness all of these things and then be successful. So thank you so much. So I'm going to a very interesting a question. I know recently you are one of the few people that got this prestigious and highly coveted Vanier Scholarship. I mean, as far as I know, Vanier Scholarship is one of the highest scholarships that doctoral students pursue vigorously to get. Can you walk me through what is Vanier Scholarship? It's going to be a series of questions. So let's start from what is Vanier Scholarship? Then the next questions will be, how did you personally go through your Vanier Scholarship application? And there'll be a third question, which will be, what makes one's application competitive? So let's take it one after the other. What is Vanier Scholarship?
Yeah, Vanier Scholarship is, as you said, is one of these, if not the most prestigious scholarship for PhD students here in Canada, because it pays the highest. And so it's a scholarship that was created to bring like the best student globally to come and study in Canada. And it's been on for a while. And what the scholarship entails is three different pillars. So being academically sound, research sound, and leadership sound. So you have to be very good in leadership, academic, and research. So that's what makes the application like great, right? So that's what they look out for in candidates globally. And it's different from, because there are also scholarships here for Canadian citizens and permanent residents, which is known as the CIHR, the NSEC, and the SHEC scholarship. So as an international student, I can apply for the scholarship, but the Vanier scholarship is, as an international student, you can apply because it's a global scholarship, right? So it's a scholarship created to bring the best student around the world. So if you know that you're strong in academics, you have very good grades, graduated with the first class, a lot of A's, and then you know that you're very sound in research. The research you're working on is something that has great impact globally, and then you also have very good leadership skills, like leading organizations, founding initiatives, volunteering, engaging in different leadership roles. So if you package all these things, then you are the kind of candidate they are looking for.
Okay, now that is very important. Now, does that mean that even if you have not been admitted into a university in Canada, say somebody from Ghana is still in Ghana, yeah, trying to apply, can such person apply for Vanier?
No. Okay. So the first stage is you have to be admitted into a Canadian university, okay, because the university is the one that will nominate you for Vanier Scholarship. So you don't apply directly to the Vanier Scholarship. So what I did was, when I applied, I first go through my department. So the department will go through your application, and after that, you go through the school. So in the school now, there are many people that will submit application to the school, but the school has a quota. So each school now, maybe like the University of Manitoba, can only nominate 5 people for the CIHR. So they can't do more than that. So you have to be admitted to the school. Then the school will check all your application relative to all the other students. So if you have a very good application, then the school will now submit you to the national. So in that national nowadays, they don't look at school anymore. You are now competing on a level ground with all students from across Canada. So out of all those students now, they will now pick 56 out of like 200 people that will now get a scholarship.
Fantastic. Wow, yeah. 56. Okay, good. Now take us through your own journey throughout this process. How long does it take you to go through this process? What did you do? How did you write your letter, whatever you need to do? What are those pieces that you put together that made you successful in the application?
Okay, yeah, I would say when I reflect on my Vanier Scholarship journey, it's actually a compilation of everything I've done in life, right from when I was young, all the decisions I take through my high school, my undergraduate program, getting into a graduate program. So all those excellent things I've done, all the challenges I've faced, and also what I'm even doing now and what I'm going to do like going forward. So these are all the things that came together in my application. So I got to know about the application, that was early last year, and when I read it, I felt I should. This is something I can apply for because I think, in terms of leadership, I've done quite some things in leadership, and also in terms of my academics, I have very good GPA, and also my undergraduate program, I finished as the best in my class. So I think I should getting into the academics. And for my research, although that might be a little bit challenging because I need a lot of papers, however, I have like 8 publications, so I think that should still be able to compete. And then the research I'm currently doing, the research I'm working on genetic disease, is a global disease. So the impact I'm able to make through my research will be very profound, even for pharmaceuticals, for biotechs, and what have you. So I first reviewed myself. That is this something I know I can apply for because it's a very, very hard application. It's the hardest I've applied for. And it takes like 3 months to complete. It's very hard. So before you even start application, you have to sit down and reflect. Is this something I know I can get in? So if you do, you have to tick all the marks and know that, okay, if I, for leadership, I'm very sure I should, out of 9 marks, because there's a mark for each section. So out of 9 marks, I should be able to get 7 in leadership. Okay, in academics, maybe 5. In research, maybe 6. And the moment you notice that you're already scoring below average, don't even bother to apply because you're competing with the best of the best students in Canada, right? So when I like reviewed myself and I saw that, okay, I can go ahead. So the next thing was a whole month. I was literally blanked. I couldn't write anything, and I said I have just 3 months to apply. Like, if you want a good application. So out of the 3 months, the first month was gone because I was kind of doubting myself at some point that I don't. This is a very hard application. Imagine picking only 56 out of 200 people. Like, how do I do this? When you're competing with people with 30 publications, 40 publications, people that are leading companies already, right? So it was something that was heavy on my mind. So I had a mentor then that already won the scholarship a year before. And when I met with him, was like, what you even have is more than my own. So you should be able to win it when I was telling him all the things I've done. So it was like that he has not seen a candidate as even strong as mine that should go ahead and do it. So I'm like, okay. So after the brain block and everything, what I now did was to reach out to my friends, because you need accountability partner for something like this, and people that can sit down and even hear your story. Because at times when you talk about what you've done, it helps you remember many things. So I called my friends and then I just started talking. Okay, what are the things you did when you were young? And that's how I started building up my leadership story, which is 2 pages, and that's about 1,500 words. After you're done with the leadership, then the next thing is your proposal. The proposal is easy to write because as a PhD student, you probably have done your proposal defense. So I was able to get my proposal done, and the proposal has to be concrete, not just a normal, ordinary proposal. So you have to also think deeply on how to package it. And as I said, you need a mentor that has won the scholarship before to mentor you. There's a way to write all these essays. So many of us just write them anyhow, but there are some things they are looking for because the guy that also won it was mentored by another student that won it. So that's how you get to win something like this. You need to know what are the tricks and the tips. So the guy was able to mentor me, okay, this is how you should write your essay and the like. So after the academic essay, the proposal, another thing that is also important is talking about your top 5 papers that you've published and why they are important. So as I said, I had like 8 publications and I've also gone to several conferences. So I was able to package that together, and that was also very good. And also, how does my research connect to gender balance, gender and sex balance? So that's also another important part of the essay, which was challenging for me because what I was doing, I couldn't think of how it connect to gender. Like I'm studying genetic disease, how does it relate with male or female, or how does it affect sex? But when I now sit down and reflect, so I was able to see that even some of the genes I'm studying, some of them are in the X chromosome, some of them are in the Y chromosome, which is in Y chromosome is in males and XX is a female. So that means some of these genes could actually be, performing some gender effects. So that's how I was able to write that essay. So it takes a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking outside of the box to know how to package your application. And then there's the CCV, which is that one is it can take a whole month to fill. So that one, it was not an easy ride because that CCV, that's a Canadian CV format. So the CV can be up to 20 pages, can be up to 18 pages, 15 pages, for you to even sit down and write that part and then filling up the application. And then you have to also get 4 reference letters, 2 leadership and 2 academics. So I have to also start reaching out to people that know me well, because you also want people, it's not about names. That's the mistake many people make in reference letters. Or you think, oh, because this person is a managing director, then they will consider him. No, what they are looking for is people that really know you and can tell a strong story about who you are. So I was able to reach out to people I've worked with, and they wrote a very strong essay for me. So 2 different people, and then academics, I reached out to your advisor in school is very important. That's the number 1. And then number 2 is one of your committees as a PhD student. So that's why most times people that win the Vanier Scholarship are people that are already in their PhD program, because they've been able to build that community of people that can write reference letters, people that can help them review their applications. So that's why I think people that are currently doing their PhD have an edge over someone that just applied to school and want to apply. So that's another thing that helps. So getting those reference letters as early as possible. And after that, you also need to get nomination letter from your department. So that was not easy, because I had to now start talking to the HOD to write a letter for me, which is also a 2 pages letter. So after that letter has been written, you have all your application combined, which is a lot of documents. Then you now send the application to the school. So after your department give you nomination, that means you are nominated already. So you send the application to your school. So the school will review the application against other applicants. So when they now see that, oh, your application is very strong, then the school will also give you feedback as to areas where you need to fix, because you are now competing for the school. So you are competing nationally using your school name. So the school wants you to win it, because that will give more prestige to the school. So the school they get back to me, and then I submitted the application, and then I waited for almost 8 months. Yeah, almost 6 to 8 months, and then they go back to us on the result. So it's a very long process, very challenging. I'll say those times were times I have to reflect a lot. You can be in the bedroom and then, I should write my essay like this, I should remove this, I should put this, I should put that. So it takes a lot of effort. Yeah.
That's a long one, because I know that I've met I know a few people that have won the scholarships. A lot of them have gone ahead to be professors at different universities. Well, I wouldn't put you on the spot now, but let's leave that. But I know that a lot of people that I know who have won this scholarship at one point, they have gone ahead to become professors at different universities in Canada. Anyway, so let's leave it at that. Now, that you must have been very proud of that. You said something there that the Vanier Scholarship is like a combination of everything you have done since you were younger. So that means that it's accumulation of good decisions, bad decisions, good grades,
Exactly.
and some of those. I should have done better. Yeah, okay. So people, it rings a bell in that there is nothing about our lives that is actually a waste.
There's nothing.
So everything can come together at some point if we can, like you said, package it together in a way that will be appealing to people that are reading it. Thank you for taking us through that journey. So now the other question I'm going to be asking as we begin to wrap up this interview is that there is this general notion back in Africa that education is a scam. And it's because of some of the things that people are saying around them, wherein people that went to school, had good grades, living a life below what they should be. And people are losing hope on education. They are not confident about going to school, because there are some people that did not even go to school that are doing very well. So what is your take on that topic or question? Is education a scam?
Wow, that's a question we've been Right from when I was in undergrad, it's something that was really spreading when I was in Nigeria, my undergraduate program. Because many of my friends gave up. Many of them went into Yahoo. Many of them, you know, got into business. And even I was talking to a boy recently, which is currently in his undergrad, and he was also telling me that he's giving up on what he's studying in school, that he thinks that there are no jobs and the likes. But I think the mistake here is people are missing what education means. Education is not about what you're studying in school alone. The reason why you're doing education is to liberate your mind, is to be able to do anything. The goal of education is not, because education is not something you have to get in the four wall of a school. You can buy a book and teach yourself. You can be self-educated. We have a lot of people in the world that are self-educated that did not even go to school, but their mind is liberated. So the essence of education is to liberate your mind, is to make you think in a different way, is to make you think logically, is to make you think critically, is to make you see things in a different way, right? Is to make you to be able to, speak at the global stage, is to make you to be able to present ideas in not just ordinary ways. So when you view education from that lens, it gives you, a different orientation as to what it is. So it's not just about getting grades, because many people went to school, oh, I want to, because I did not have good grade in school, I just give up. No, it's not about that alone. However, grades are very important because they also show how you've been able to discipline yourself to be able to, go through school. Because for you to have good grades is a sign of discipline. It's a sign of, putting your mind into what you're doing, right? So, education is not just about getting grades. It's not to get job, right? So I went to school to study banking, then I have to be in a bank. No, you can do banking and finance and end up, working as, a tech guru. So what that education did to you was to liberate your mind. I was telling people while I was in Nigeria when I did biochemistry that most of the jobs I did before I came to Canada was not even biochemistry at all. But my ability to think critically as a biochemist, my ability to follow like pathways when I was in class, those are the things I'm still using till now, because I believe one step leads to another, another step leads to another. So those concepts are applicable in every area of life. So if you are studying music, that doesn't mean, oh, I have to, if I don't now, okay, get good grade in music, then my life is done. No, you can look into the concept of what you're doing and use it in anywhere you get to. So we have seen a lot of people today that what they are using as a career is not what they studied in school. But when you speak to them, you see that they are even experts in what they are doing. Why? Because the education they went through liberated their mind. So education is not even fixed to the school alone. You can, you buying books, you reading books, you taking online courses, it's all education. The reason why you're doing that is to be a better person, is to be able to think differently, is to be able to solve complex problems, is to be able to provide solutions to many things. And I think the reason why this education is a scam thing is flying everywhere in Nigeria is because we celebrate things that are bad. You see a young person doing Yahoo, buying cars, going out for parties, and the police are the law enforcement agencies are not carrying those people. So the people that are really doing the hard work, when they see such people excel, then they feel like, why am I even here? I'm doing the right thing, but they're suffering, and then this someone doing the bad thing, and the person is, going with it. So, and the fact is, don't look at those people. If you're a young person, don't look at those people, because life will always tell. When we were in school, then we had a lot of friends that were young boys. They would come to school with cars while we were trekking. But one thing we knew that what the future will tell, and the future is telling. We have many people today that was even still reach out, please, can you send me some money? Because while we're in school, they don't come to class. They will go out to parties while we were in school, sleeping in classes trying to read. So later on, life will come in and settle everyone. So don't compare your journey with other people. So people that are doing evil to get it, or people that are giving up on what they are doing, don't look at those people. And at times I just ask, students, like, how will you gain admission for a 5 years program and now waste it? Like, that 5 years is a very important part of your life. Why not, even if education is a scam, get good grade first. Abi, it's not if you now finish with a good grade, then know whether education is a scam or not. But at least don't let that lie, they call it lies from the pit of hell, come on, affect your destiny. Why not take that 5 years that you are putting all the effort, graduate first with a good grade. And when you now get out of school, if they now say, oh, education is a scam, at least you know that you secured something for yourself. And at times, you don't just study because of what you want in life. Also study because of even what I know your generation will think about you. Now, how will it feel when you now give birth to your children and then they ask you what do you finish with? Oh, when I was in school, I was not that serious. I finished the third class. That might even affect your children too, because they are looking up to you as a parent. So you being excellent in school, you putting all the effort is not just for, oh, I just want to come to school. No, it's to liberate yourself, is to give something back to the world, is to be an example to people. And it's not to look at other people's journey and comparing it with yours. Everybody will be settled later on in life. And notice that not everyone is in the same class. In the next 2-3 years, you will know people that are really in your class. Many people you are now in school together, you are seeing them doing things. Why is this person treating me like this? Later on in life, you will know whether you are all in the same level. By the time you go further, based on the sacrifices you took. So, yeah, that's what I would say about that.
I mean, fantastic. I mean, so it means that I can add this, that if anybody is going through school right now, looking at Samuel Ogunsola, for example, should give them hope that education is not a scam.
It's not a scam. Yeah.
You can start from a local area in Nigeria or in any part of Africa and operate at a global level. Winning a scholarship like Vanier is a big deal. It's a big deal. And to have been able to do that, to give somebody at the downside, the backyard in Africa, that it is possible. Once they put in effort, put in the hard work, it is possible to excel and do well. Education is actually not a scam. Nice. Thank you. Yeah. As we wrap up this conversation, what would be your parting word for young Nigerians, young Ghanaians, young Cameroonians, young Africans, and young people across the world that are at the younger generation? What would be your parting word for them? Looking at yourself, using a lens through yourself and seeing how far you have come till this point, and looking forward to what you can achieve based on where you are right now. Can you give a bit of words of advice and encouragement to those younger fellows?
Yeah, so what I would say is, number one, don't allow what is going on in your environment limit you. Dream beyond what is happening in your environment, because the environment always change. So don't allow, because I'm in Africa, because of all the limitations, as we mentioned, electricity, bad leaders, don't let that limit your destiny. Know that even you being an African is a gift. And there's a reason why God placed you in that particular continent and not in America. So think of how you can be a change. Think of how you can be a change. And another thing in life that, there are different things in life that can level people, level you with anybody globally. But the most important one is education. Through education, you can be a professor at Harvard. Through education, you can come from a small town in Ekiti, in Nigeria, and rose up to become a professor of one of the best universities in the world, because education is a leveler. Another thing that is a leveler is value. So as much as you're learning in school, look for ways to develop values, add skills to yourself. And the world is moving very fast, and it's only the people that can catch up with the way it's moving that will become relevant in the years to come. So if you did something or you're studying something and you notice that what you're studying, if you're going at this rate you're going, you might not be able to add much value. Because if you don't have much value, money will not come to you. And also people will not come to you, because people and money are attracted to value. So good people always want people that are valuable. So if you're studying a program in school and you notice that this program, the way it's going, might not add much value to you, you can look for skills, external skills that can level it up. So I did biochemistry in school, which is a very great course. But while I was in school, I also noticed that I need to package my biochemistry very well. So I learned skills like presentation. I learned skills like slide designs, graphic designing. And these things have made me to publish several papers, have made me to even have better grades. So you have to look at something that will give you an edge in life. So value and education is very, very important. And I'll say the last thing is be very put in hard work. Put in hard work, because hard work always pays. You can be a very talented person, but if you don't put in the hard work, you won't get results. So being able to work hard will help you a lot. And then as you work hard, also work smart. Part of working smart is working with this right set of people. Don't be a lone worker, because there are many opportunities that will fly around. And if you're working alone, you might not get access to them. So part of being working smart is working with people that are also as smart and hardworking as you, right? And those people are the ones that will help you to, shift to the next level, right? If you want to get into the global world, you can't move alone. You need to work with the right set of people. And I would say, lastly, look for ways to give back. Anything you've acquired in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, look for ways to give back. And while giving back, delay gratification. There are many jobs, there are many opportunities I've gotten today through volunteering, through, oh, let me do this thing for you for free. And when they see the value I offer, they will say, okay, come in, we'll pay you. I think what you're doing is really good. So try to delay gratification. It's not about, oh, anywhere I get to, I must collect money. I've noticed that in many young people today. And because of that, once you collect money, the value that should come might go, because you're already being paid. And many people will open doors for you when you are doing things for them at times for free. So many young people today are so money driven, and they've lost a lot of opportunities. So at times I just look for ways you can give back, even if it is for free. It might be your time, it might be your resources. But the fact is, the universe always know how to pay you back. And by the time you get paid back, you'll be surprised and amazed yourself. As I said, the Vanier Scholarship is more like a payback for me, because when I look at my story, many of the things there were things I do for free. But because the more I do them, they compound. And by the time I now write the story, it's very inspiring to read. So when you are someone that the only thing is just to focus on yourself, oh, I just want to graduate, I just want to do this, I just want to do that, you might not be able to win things like that, because the only way you can win things like that is to give back through, creating initiatives, how you can help your friends to become better, how you can find something that can help your community better. So the more you do things like this, the more they compound, and the more they give you platform to, global stages. So those are the things I've also noticed, patterns I've noticed in my friends, in myself, that has helped us to where we are today. We always look for platforms to give back to other people. And the more you do that, the more the universe pay you with bigger things. Yeah.
Wow. 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 It's been a pleasure having a conversation with you, Mr. Samuel Ogunsola. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you all of the best in your many parts of your doctoral program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.